Hi Taurus, welcome to your December reading. So, I decided, since you guys are going to be on a SeeSaw this month, that I would wear activewear, naturally. That's a joke. I've been telling bad jokes all day. I was joking around the Scorpio video, and now they're all mad. Because I was laughing because they're going to have feelings. So, if I make some off-color jokes here, forgive me. I must be on a streak. All right. Jumping to conclusions, Taurus. The jumping bull. Here, there, and everywhere. Romantically, you love them, you hate them, you love them, you hate them. You want to kill them, you want to write them a song. Day by day, you vacillate back and forth. What's the point? December wants you to see what's really there. Letting go of the fantasy. So you can avail yourself to the very, very sunny reality. See, because the thing is, your fantasies, yeah, they might be great, but they don't even compare to the reality of what's coming. You don't need to get lost in those worlds anymore. Your real life, your waking life, is going to now resemble your best life that you have categorized as your best life more than ever before. But it does require you to be grounded in the real, which means no more fantasizing. We don't want to make up some version of what a person is in our heads. We want to see what they really are. Here in my notes, I have written karmic seesaw. The vacillating between love and hate. When we see what's really there, when our eyes are open and we're not romanticizing things, our luck changes drastically, especially Taurus. Because your eyes are so keen when they're clean. But when that fog of fantasy descends on you, it's very hard on you, and it's very hard on any prospective person who would want to be with you, because they're competing with a ghost, something that doesn't exist, something you've made up in your mind. So we're not doing that anymore. We're grounding ourselves. What else does it say here? So another thing that's worth thinking about is all the planets that are now moving into Aquarius. They're going to make you wonder, why are you so willing to offer this cup to some and not to others? What is it that makes certain people compelling to you? What do they have, or what don't they do that makes you feel like, yes, this is a person that I could be with? Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius really want you to think about that. They really want you to go back into the past and really examine what motivates you to be romantic with someone. For some of you, this actually means that you'll be going back to an ex that made you really, really sad. Or you'll be revisiting a situation that made you really, really sad. Do it for educational purposes. Use it as a teachable moment. Don't get all caught up in it. Use it to figure out what within you, what belief systems do you have about yourself that allows these people to come in again and again and again. When they're treating you like this, but you still believe it's going to be like this, but the reality is that. How does such a straight-talking, clear-headed person do this to themselves? December wants to know, badly. Another thing I have written down here. No more running back to people who you thought would give you the 10 of Cups. They didn't. They never did. But for some reason, even though you went through these stages of grief and pain, you still believe they could give you that. They can't. They didn't give it to you the first time. They're not going to give it to you now. Don't go back. What else? Now let's talk about money. Around the solar eclipse, what's going to happen is you're going to get a very clear indication of what it is that you believe about yourself in relation to money. Do you believe that you're worth earning a lot? Do you believe that your business has the right to do incredibly well? And what does incredibly well mean anyway? What's your limit? What's your price? The solar eclipse wants to know, and then it wants you to erase that and make your price, sky's the limit. You also have Mars right behind you in Aries, pushing, wants you to look deep inside your soul and figure out what's limiting you and heal it away. That can all happen in December for you, but it cannot happen if you don't first reveal those fears. When they come up at the solar eclipse, if you deny them, there's no work that can be done. But if you allow yourself to be shown what you're afraid of, how you react to certain things, what that says about your beliefs about you and your capability, I know this is hitting a nerve. Then, once they've been exposed to the light, then you can eradicate them. But right now, if you don't even accept it, if you don't even perhaps know it, how could you ever fix it? It's not possible, right? So, another thing that's very important here, coming back to this Wheel of Fortune, is that it's very important for you to manage your resources. It's very possible for you to pool your resources at this time and do something in terms of work that ends up being really incredible. But you've got to be really organized. You've got to know that you can do it, and you've got to implement whatever you end up doing next with this belief that you are capable of being extremely successful. A lot is going to come up within yourself that you believe about you that keeps you from being extremely successful. Whether it's in the relationship sector or money, it doesn't matter. Things are going to come up that you're going to look at and say, oh wow, I didn't even realize I thought that about myself. That's okay. The whole point of December is to see it, know it, acknowledge it, not accept it, acknowledge it and purge it. We're getting off the seesaw in every way. Not going back to exes, not getting back into toxic situations at work, not falling back into toxic self-limiting beliefs from the past. No more up and down. Now it's just up, 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 up. There's no need to go back down just to come back up. There's no need. If you're properly grounded, then you don't need to do the karmic seesaw, and it's finally time to get off, which is extremely liberating and really fun, unless you are toxically attached to somebody who's just absolutely no good for you, and you can't see how you can ever let them go. If they come back, you'll take them back. If you want to keep going in that cycle, of course you can, but that's a cycle you're going to get stuck in for another year or so, and that doesn't seem like fun for anyone. So think it through. What really do you want? Do you want to be free, happy, well off, successful, in control of your mind and heart? Or would you like to be ruled by your emotions, constantly in a state of fear because this is not someone you can essentially trust, and still be beating yourself up for the way that you are being treated, thus affecting everything else in your life, including your money? There's not much of a choice there. And yet you're allowed to make one. So stay on the seesaw or get off. To get off the seesaw is not so easy, right? Because now you have to look at things about yourself that aren't quite so pleasant. And then that may lead you to look at things that are not so pleasant about your upbringing, things that you've hung on to, things that have happened to you, learned behaviors. And every one of those learned behaviors has some sort of trauma attached to it that you will then have to go and revisit, making December really heavy and at the same time leaving you super light as you get rid of it. It's exciting, it's daunting. In some respects, it's going to be really painful. And yet you walk out of December feeling light, successful, fully aware of what it is that you want and what you're capable of for real, which is anything. Once you feel that capability within yourself, it becomes really, really difficult for anyone to treat you bad, you know? Once you believe wholeheartedly that you're incredible, that you can do anything, it becomes impossible for someone to treat you bad or take advantage of you. Whether it be a lover, someone at work, doesn't matter. A parent, a sibling, doesn't matter. So, this month we jump off the ride, we work on ourselves, we acknowledge things as they come up, these self-limiting beliefs, we follow them back to the root and we pull them out. And then you rock it. Yay. I love you lots. Look at these cards, okay? Let's look at these cards, okay? Full moon in Gemini has me just tripping over my words. Hi, Taurus. Welcome to the second part of your reading. All right. Let's take a fresh look at these cards. Knight of Cups, Wheel of Fortune. There are a lot of opportunities coming in to collaborate. They're going to work out really great for you. But the size of the pie depends on what you believe you're worthy of earning. You being worthy as a person and what you think you are worthy of earning are two different things. A while ago in the Capricorn video, I want to say like 6 months ago or so, I told a story that Bob Proctor tells often about the $5,000 man, where there, after the book came out, his first book, all these sales managers from all over the world contacted him saying that they had a very similar story to the $5,000 man. What's the story? A man who had quite a lot of sales experience was put in a very sales-rich environment. He made $5,000 that year in commission. This is a long time ago, so it was a lot of money. And then he was put in a very dry environment where it was almost impossible to make a sale, and he made $5,000 in that environment. This left managers confounded, because if you are that good at selling that you can sell in a completely dry area, why would you only make that same amount in a sales-rich area? Turned out that after the man would make $5,000 in a fruitful economy, he would either get sick, take a vacation, something else would happen, his focus would be off, and he wouldn't make any more. When he was in an environment where he had to work harder to make the same amount, he did. Now, he wasn't conscious himself that he was hitting this mark and then after that had no motivation. It's just what his settings were set to. In his mind, somewhere deep in there, was the belief that he was capable of earning exactly that much. And so his subconscious would go to work and get him to hit that target. And after that, little subconscious micro adjustments would make sure that he wouldn't make any more. In the same way, we all have that setting. What it's set to has everything to do with the way you were brought up. Perhaps your first forays into working, your first few paychecks, the first time you tried to strike out on your own and do something. All of that came together to put some vague number or other in your mind as the peak of what you yourself are able to earn. And like every other setting, this is discussed at length in Maxwell Maltz's Psychocybernetics, a book that we discuss quite often in something on Instagram called the Rev Fam Book Club. I highly suggest you take a look. These settings can be changed. For you, Taurus, December is about the setting of earning. What you believe you can earn is going to determine how well these collaborations work out. What you believe you can earn is going to determine how you set up the next year. And so December makes you take a very hard look at what it is that you are capable of and what it is that you believe, and if those two match up at all. Again, I don't want you getting this confused with self-worth. You may have a very high sense of worth. You may really believe that you are wonderful and special as you are. That's true. But that has little or nothing to do with what you think you are able to earn. There are a lot of people out there who really do believe that they're very good people and have a very hard time either earning or holding on to money. It's a completely different setting. They don't have much to do with each other. So, December takes a hard look at where is your setting? What are you set to? And then it gives you the opportunity to break that down, look at where those beliefs come from, and change them. In the same way, you have a setting that has to do with how you believe you should be treated or what love is. So for example, if you were raised in a household where love was portrayed to you as one person giving, and the other person taking, for the rest of your life, you are going to be attracted to people who, off the bat, you can tell are takers. You meet a giver and you won't even be attracted to them. You don't even see them in a room. You're only going to see the people who fit that mold that you grew up with because that's your setting. That's another one that December wants you to take a look at. In fact, Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius want you to take a look at both. Now, how one loves, what one is deserving of in love, what we believe we are entitled to in love is a very messy subject. It brings up so much pain, regret, sorrow, feelings from the past, fears of the past, remorse. And all of that comes together in December, not to pain you, not to hurt you, but so you can see what you are set to and you can go about doing the hard work of changing it. One of the ways this is going to become clear to you, by this I mean where you're set to, is the people that re-enter your life and if you allow them to or not. Oh, it's test month, for sure. For sure you're going to be tested. Your exes, your toxic exes especially, are very much on the way back in. They want to communicate, they want to call, they want to talk. You may have even fucked up and reached out to them, which is why they're calling and talking in the first place. Guilty. I'm sorry, that was my Vedic Taurus just jumping out. You may have done that, but now the ball's in their court and they want nothing more than to rope you back into the misery that was once your life. So December says, okay, Taurus, what are you going to do? Do you want to take a look at these settings or do you want to be a slave to your libido? Do you want to change these settings or do you want a repeat of what's happened before? Because this here is no coincidence, Taurus. These settings are intertwined for you. Of course they are. You are fixed earth. Everything is a sensuous experience, including earning money. Whoop, whoop. So now Jupiter and Saturn want to know, where are your settings at? What have you learned? How are you going to change them? And if you commit yourself to changing them, they will help you. But commitment to change means putting yourself first. Now, if you're dealing with an Aquarius and they've made you super, super sad, you got to stop thinking they're going to change or somehow that situation is going to get better. It won't. If you're dealing with an Aries, they seem hell-bent on helping you out. But that doesn't mean they're good for you, does it? Not one bit. The thing you need to focus on right now is not love. It is figuring out what your love setting is. Don't focus on money. Figure out what your money setting is. When you do both of those, things change around you as if by magic, but not by magic. I can give you a very logical explanation of why psychocybernetics works the way it does. Your subconscious has control over you all the time. You can't communicate with it, so you don't think it's there. But every night, whether you remember it or not, your subconscious is speaking to you through your dreams. That part of you is where your settings live. So it is incredibly good at carrying that out because it has control over 90% of your mind. So micro adjustments are made in your behavior unbeknownst to you that then lead to the fulfillment of those settings. So when you change them, when you get into a new frame of mind where you say, hey, you know what? My earning capability is actually limitless. It'll take you a while to get there, but the will to examine and eradicate and purge is here in December. You have the energy to do it. In the same way, you do it with love. And what happens is you walk out of December, you walk out of December feeling incredibly light, optimistic, like you can do anything. Now, this resetting process has happened before. And what does Taurus do? Taurus works hard, horns first, forge ahead, and then sits back, relaxes, and slips back into the old pattern. Well, guess what? Not possible anymore. Saturn in Capricorn may have been a very harsh taskmaster, or as they call it, the Lord of Karma. But Saturn in Aquarius is a very strict parent as well. Fun, sweet, pat you on the head, nice. But no dilly-dallying. Now it's evolution or else. With Saturn, there is still always the option. You can slip back into the familiar. It'll cost you. It'll hurt, but you're allowed. Of course, in Aquarius, you're dealing with a tiger mom now. There's no slipping backwards. There's let's fix this, let's evolve and move forward, period. There's nothing else to do. You have no other options. And thank God for it. Because this SeeSaw, if we're going to be really honest, Taurus, has been this SeeSaw has been going on for a long time. You've been on this SeeSaw for a very long time. And it's not enough that when you're feeling good, you're able to attract abundance and love. It's not enough because then the SeeSaw dips again and then it slips out of your hands. That sustained good feeling about the self, the sustained good feeling about what you're doing financially is really, really important. If you were able to pick up speed with a certain belief and just keep going, no one is going to be able to run further than you. You just need momentum. You need time to warm up, you need time to get going, and then you need momentum. In December, you have all of those things. you can transform your life by examining these settings and allowing yourself to believe that things can be different, working towards changing and making yourself different. The best part is, it won't change your personality. No matter what your settings are on right now, it doesn't change the fact that you win. May take a while sometimes, may be slow going, but you win. And you win here too. Yay! Why do you win? How do you win? Because at least now you know that those settings exist and that they can be changed. At least now you know that what you earn and who comes into your life and who you happen to be attracted to isn't just a trick of fate. It's based on a mindset. Okay? Good. In the extended, we'll shuffle through and look at each card at length. You can buy the extended instantly, where it's sent to your inbox, or you can rent it through Vimeo or buy it through Vimeo. There is also the option to have a private recorded 7 to 10 minute reading sent to your inbox. There's a Cameo link for that below. And if you would prefer to live video chat and do a reading with me, there is a Chatalize link below. Those video one-on-one readings are done on Tuesdays, and there's only 4 slots a week. So check that out if you're interested. If you have been admiring my rings, these are rings that are part of a company called Quietest Revolution Rings that Carolina, my best friend, and I started. These are designed by a Danish designer. This one is the High Priestess and this one is the Empress. And you can view photos of the Rev Fam wearing these rings at Quietest Revolution Rings on Instagram. And there's also a link to buy below. One last thing, well, no, 2 last things. If you are interested in a daily horoscope and a look at the daily astrological transits of the day according to the signs, check out the Quietest Revolution on Insta and join the Rev Fam. And if you are interested in attending an event, for now, the events have been moved online onto Zoom. And we do them every full moon for every season. So the Capricorn full moon event is happening soon, and well, at the end of the month, and there will be a link below, an Eventbrite link, where you can check out tickets for that. Yay! All right, Taurus. This is a really good reading. It's not easy, but it's wonderful because you need it and you're going to rock it. Just dive in. I love you lots. I'll see you in the extended right now.